The mecca of high school football talent has long resided in Florida, Texas, and California. This year's no different. IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, starts the season off atop the national rankings and has the requisite talent to stay there all year long. In South Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas is loaded once again under head coach Roger Harriet. The Raiders have a legitimate shot at repeating as state champions. In Texas, North Shore went back-to-back as state champs, and with quarterback Demetrius Davis Jr. at the helm, they're the favorites to make it 3 straight. Out west, Mater Dei, led by USC-bound quarterback Miller Moss, are primed for a 4th consecutive top 2 ranking in the country. But they will have to take on the 2019 national champs in St. John Bosco. The Braves have big shoes to fill at quarterback, but possess a talent-rich roster capable of running the table. Which teams will surprise? Where is the underrated talent? Who are the players the top-notch college programs will be watching closely? All that and more next.
Put that on the sizzle reel. Which state has the best high school football? To break it down, welcome our experts, MaxPreps Director of Programming Steve Montoya and MaxPreps High School Football Analyst Zack Poff. Who plays the best high school football in the country? Florida, California, or Texas? Zack, I'll start with you. Make the case for Texas.
Man, I tell you what, first of all, you're going to get me in trouble on social media by saying this, but I believe strongly when you go from top to bottom and depth-wise, you got to roll with the Lone Star State. We just came out with our preseason top 100 rankings, and Texas was king with the most with 17 teams. They're tied with California for the most in the top 25 with 5 each. You got to start with North Shore, the back-to-back state champs. They come in at number 5. And then obviously you got Duncanville at 8, followed by Katy at 11. And then you've got South Lake Carroll and the number 1 quarterback, Quinn Ewers, from the class of 2022 at number 16. And then you got Shadow Creek. They're kind of the new guys on the block. They won a 5A Division I state title last year. So those are the 5 teams in the top 25. But when you go outside of that and you go 25 to 100, you got notable programs like Allen High School. Of course, we all know Allen because of Kyler Murray when he led them to 3 state titles from 2012 to 2014. Then you got Hank Carter and Lake Travis and all those other big-time programs like DeSoto High School. But I want to say this before we move on to California. I do believe when you look at California, when you look at the top teams, I believe California's the best. And then when you look at Florida, I believe when you talk about talent strictly, I believe the Sunshine State is king. But when you look at depth from top to bottom, I'm rolling with Texas.
Well, Zack, I'm going to have to go with California here. Like you said, they have 15 preseason top 100 teams, 5 in the top 25. And the state is loaded from Sacramento to San Diego, but you have to start in Southern California. You have the number 2 team in the nation, the 2017 national champs in Mater Dei. You have the defending national champions in St. John Bosco at number 3. And then you have the number 1 player in the country, Corey Foreman, on the 15th ranked team in Corona Centennial. You have 11 teams from Southern California alone in the top 100. I don't think I'm going out on a limb here by saying Southern California alone has more talent than the majority of all states out there, besides maybe a handful. And then NorCal's no joke either. I mean, you do have De La Salle High School, maybe the most storied football program, the 151-game win streak, the movie made after them, and all they do is win and get to state title games. So there's so much talent in the state of California, and there's good coaches, good teams. It's hard to argue against that state. Since 1995, number 1 picks have come from the state of California. You do have Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. They all came from California. But Zack, we know that when we're talking about producing talent to the NFL, Florida is second to none.
Yeah, Florida, and even, just looking into the 2020 season, what they bring to the table this year, they had 4 teams ranked in the top 25. IMG checks in at number 1. Obviously, you got St. Thomas Aquinas, the school that has more current players in the NFL right now than any other high school. They're number 6 in the country. Then you got a loaded Miami Northwestern team at number 14. They've produced big-time players like Amari Cooper, Teddy Bridgewater, and the list goes so on and so on with Miami Northwestern. And then obviously Miami Central too. They check in at number 21. They got this cat, Amari Daniels, 4-star running back. he's going to join the list of, former great Miami Central running backs, Dalvin Cook, James Cook, and Devontae Freeman. So he's the next one up. And then you go even further, you look at Booker T. Washington, story program from the South Florida area. And when you talk about talent, I believe South Florida is number one at producing talent. I mean, year in and year out, you look at NFL draft data, and they usually have the most picks in each draft. And, you got a couple of guys in the NFL that are doing big-time things. Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP, he's from Florida. And obviously the Bosa brothers, too, Nick and Joey, both were studs at St. Thomas Aquinas.